Dads of Reddit, what's a tip you can give a soon-to-be father for the first year of fatherhood? No matter how frustrated you get, remain calm and remember they have no way of communicating how they feel or what they want. It just takes time. Bonus: an excellent pair of noise-canceling headphones can be a lifesaver the first 3-6 months. Not to ignore them obviously, but if you need to walk them around to calm them down, it helps a lot. Be patient. Every skill you want your child to master needs time to develop and space to flourish. They can't just copy your way of doing things, because they won't make sense to the child the same way they make sense to you. Always discipline out of love. Never hate. Never forget that you're a parent first and a cool friend last, though. As your kid becomes a toddler, you will notice that they get upset over what you assume is the littlest thing to them. Try to remember that this might actually be the worst thing that's ever happened to them until now. My only other piece of advice is to calm down before discipline begins. Even if they are being the biggest shit in the whole world, you are their role model and they will mirror how you react when you are angry. This right here is what I need to work on most before I have a kid. My wife and I are actively trying just to take a breath before I react to their behavior. I don't want to be as reactive or as angry as my father was. My parents were married until I was an adult, married and moved out. Then my dad came out of the closet, which explained why he was always so frustrated and angry when I was a kid. But his attitude and how he dealt with frustration has stuck with me. I catch myself doing it too with my dogs and stuff. Popping off angry before realizing that there's no functional point to that. I'm learning to slow down, breathe, and then react more calmly. The first 8 weeks are not representative of the overall experience. Some people say the first 8 weeks are the hardest. Some people say it gets easier after the first 8 weeks. But that's almost an oversimplification of the transition to parenthood. What I'm trying to say is, there will be days during the first 8 weeks that you think things are going badly. Don't despair in those sleep-deprived emotional moments. You've got this. As your kid becomes a toddler, you will notice that they get upset over what you assume is the littlest thing to them. Try to remember that this might actually be the worst thing that's ever happened to them until now. My only other piece of advice is to calm down before discipline begins. Even if they are being the biggest shit in the whole world, you are their role model and they will mirror how you react when you are angry. You know how they have those commercials that say never shake a baby? And how stupid that sounds, because who the fuck would shake a baby? There will be a time, probably when you're more tired than you've ever been, where you will not be able to calm the baby. You'll have fed the baby, burped the baby, changed the baby, walked around with the baby, but still the baby will scream. You won't know what to do, and you won't have help. It won't make logical sense, and you may feel rage start to come over you. It sounds crazy, but at that point your instinct might be to grab the baby and squeeze or shake them to try to snap them out like you would an adult that was having a maniac episode. That's the moment. And that's when you have to remember, never shake a baby. It sounds fucking stupid, right? Until it happens. I remember this moment as a young first-time father. I remember the clarity. It was like, holy shit, that's it. That's when people shake these things. I remember thinking, that was almost me. Put the baby down in the crib. Walk away. The kid will be fine. Lots of good advice already. I have 2 things to add about breastfeeding. You can't, but you can help. For the middle of the night feedings, whether planned or unplanned, I would get up, get our daughter, check the diaper, and bring the baby to mom while mom does whatever to make herself comfortable. I nap while they feed. When done, I took her back to bed, checked the diaper and went back to bed where mom was asleep again. It's not much, but my wife appreciated it. You can't get that mother-baby feeding bond, but I took a different approach to getting that bonding moment. Diaper change. It has to be done, so make it a dad-baby bonding thing. Don't race. It's not the Daytona 500 where seconds count. Play with her, and while you clean them up, find their feet, their nose, laugh when they giggle. Bond. Mommy makes the tummy better, dad makes the bottom better. Both are very important to baby. Of course I don't mean you have to change all the diapers, Just make the most of it when you do. Have fun. Remember, you're not going to be perfect. There's a heck of a learning curve. Babies are tougher than they look, but still delicate. Oh, that first morning you wake up and baby slept through the night is scary. You'll be happy when it happens and everybody is fine, but it is scary when it happens. Take pictures and make memories. My wife says a lot how she takes pictures of me and the kids doing things but doesn't have any of herself and the kids. 5 years from now you'll look back and say, wow, it feels like we just came home from the hospital yesterday. It's not as horrible as some people make it out to be. Even on the sleepy days, when the baby looks at you and giggles, you realize it's all worth it. You never know, the baby might just sleep like an angel through the night. Watching them learn and become more and more independent is a joy to watch. One day at a time, one nap at a time. And don't get so wrapped up in parenthood that you forget you have to be a husband or boyfriend as well. You got this. The days are long, and the years are short. Take pictures. As little person grows you grow and vice versa. If you have doubts, talk to another dad. If you see you're so struggling, support them. You're a team. 3 things I lived by for the first few weeks. If baby is crying, check diaper. If baby's still crying, try burping. If baby's still crying, try feeding. Repeat if necessary. Even with all your research, when baby comes, you have natural instincts that will kick in. Don't doubt those instincts. Research helps, yes, but instincts are you being a parent. Edit. This also helps relieve gas for baby. Baby bicycle kicks. I'll also add, language production lags hard behind comprehension. Children first start detectably recognizing human speech by about the age of 6 weeks. They definitely comprehend quite a bit by 6 months. Your child understands a lot more than they can say. Talk to them like they're people. Explain things that are happening to them, especially things that will hurt, like vaccines. This is going to hurt, but it's to stop you getting sick and feeling bad. Can actually have a 6-month-old baby smiling sweetly at the nurse when they get jabbed. If you're lucky, don't lie to them. They won't have the words, but the sentiment of "fuck you old man" can kick in early. This is for a bit later, when they start walking or even crawling. If they fall, give them a second. Chances are they are okay and will watch your reaction to figure out how they should react. If you wait a moment to see, they will often get up and go on like nothing happened. If you rush over and start fussing over them, they are more likely to learn to cry every time they fall. Kids are super durable. Obviously, it also depends on severity. If they climb a chair and fall off smacking their head on the floor, you need to check on them immediately. But most small falls a kid takes are minor and they will take their cues from you. Crying is the baby's language. He or she is saying in their own language they are hot/cold/hungry/tired/scared. I found remembering this helped as I kept looking for different things that could be done to help rather than getting frustrated as the crying wouldn't stop just because I wanted it to. Breakfast. Dad's own breakfast. You are the pancake master, Frenchiest French toaster on the planet. Saturday, Sunday morning breakfast is my world, my domain. Kids grab a seat and talk to dad while I fry some bacon, and like magic you hear all their wins and fears. When they have friends over, you get to put on a show flipping pancakes, and like magic you get to know their friends and they tell you things while you're cooking about your kid you wouldn't otherwise know. So, start your breakfast experiments now. My favorite is Almond Joy coffee creamer, flavor in the pancake mix, subbing it for half the milk. Put more of your focus on the well-being of the mother than of your child. Take care of some of the things she is usually responsible for. Ask her what she needs or wants. Be mindful of postnatal depression. Make sure she is sleeping well. Let her know she is doing a great job. I personally found myself to be very ill-equipped for the first year of our kid, and that's pretty normal for dads and nothing to be ashamed of. I found I lacked the patience needed to handle a screaming baby, and my partner was an absolute saint. Now that she is older, I push her boundaries and aim to make her more independent each day. So maybe not the most helpful in year 1, but this idea helped me so much over the last 5. Everything is new to them, and they are little bodies with an insane amount of emotions with no way to control them. They have no idea how to control them, so everything is two extremes. They are either their happiest they have ever been, or it's the end of the world as they know it. With that mindset, a child's actions make way more sense, especially as they get older, and helping them feel those emotions and know it's okay to have those emotions will help them in the long run. It's okay for a kid to go sit down and cry, or even drink their feet, as long as after they are done they can talk to you about it or be okay. I know it's a lot, and probably won't make sense for a long time, but hopefully it will click over day like it did for me. With that mindset, a child's actions make way more sense, especially as they get older, and helping them feel those emotions and know it's okay to have those emotions will help them in the long run. It's okay for a kid to go sit down and cry, or even drink their feet, as long as after they are done they can talk to you about it or be okay. I know it's a lot, and probably won't make sense for a long time, but hopefully it will click over day like it did for me. Use the 5 fingers on your left hand to check for these. Health. Is your child sick? Food. Does your child need food? Diaper. Does your child need a change of diapers? Love. Does your child need cuddling? Something to do. Is your child restless and needs a toy? So, what do you do with your other hand? You keep it on the child. You only get to feed your baby, or hold them when they sleep a certain number of times. Same with tying their shoes. Don't artificially reduce that number. Your wife won't have any energy for you for a while. She is going to be all about the kid. Join her in that and you will get back to being a couple sooner. But it is going to be a longer road than you expect. Potentially a year or 4 depending on so many things. If you can't handle that, you may not be ready. Your kid will treat you when you are older. The way you treat them when they are young, maybe later and not now, will come back and haunt you, and you will eventually regret every time you ever said it. Ask your wife, baby mama, if you have a short temper or are short-tempered or impatient. If the answer is anything but no, you are amazingly patient. Get your ass in therapy. Now, love, trust, boundaries, in that order. Love them. Let them learn they can trust you. Set and manage boundaries. You are not helping out your wife. You are a grown man and this child is your responsibility too. Don't make her do all the mental and emotional labor. As in, don't ask her, hey babe, just let me know, I will happily do anything. Figure out yourself what will need to be done. And do it. The first 3-4 months are full of the most frustrating and unrewarding times in fatherhood. You might feel like you made a mistake by putting yourself in this situation. You might feel like you are doing irreparable damage to your body because the lack of sleep. But I promise you, that first smile, that first giggle, that first time they lock eyes with you and you can tell that they know who you are, all those negative thoughts you had from months 1-3 evaporate and the real fun begins. Also, every baby is different. Comparison is the thief of joy. Your job is to help your child learn and become a confident, capable adult. That starts by providing comfort and predictability to your newborn. When they cry, be there for them, right away, and give them what they need: food, new diaper, cuddles. That's all a newborn needs. Leaving your newborn crying and alone teaches them they can't count on you. That sucks. Don't do it. Your child is your number one job. That other job will come and go, but your child will always be there until they move out, hopefully as a confident, capable adult, which will happen so fast it'll take your breath away. Cherish every moment. Dad of 2 boys, both confident, capable and successful adults. My proudest achievement, no question. Edit words. Take a photo of them every month on the day of the month they were born. Do that for the first few years of their lives. It's fascinating seeing them change month by month, and they make for good keepsake photos. Also, take lots of home videos on your phone, in horizontal mode. Of course, the ones from the first year will be kinda boring. Just them laying there looking confused and trolling around on the floor. But future you will be thankful. They grow up so fast, and having video of them when they are a baby will allow you to remember those days more clearly. I compile the videos I take into a yearly compilation. My youngest loves watching them. Also, Make sure you tag team caring for the baby with your wife, so she gets enough sleep and our pregnancy and labor are brutal on the body, and her getting rest will help tremendously with her recovery. Lastly, and this is more for the toddler and preschool years, pack away any little knickknacks and items you hold dear, because that child will, usually unwittingly, destroy them, especially if they are a boy, I think. A diaper blowout does not just mean your child had a larger poop than normal. Either they weren't changed often enough, or the more likely problem is that they are wearing the wrong size diaper. They likely are ready to move up to the next larger size diaper. Oh my god, that's how that works. I've never been around small children, but definitely want kids someday, and was confused how online people always talk about diaper blowouts. But every single family member I've spoken to has never experienced that with their children. It really baffled me how some people could just avoid it entirely, because I thought it was more like a symptom of an upset stomach than a wrong-sized diaper. Remember that you are not your child's friend, you are their parent. Once they're adults, or at least teenagers, then you can start trying to be a friend as well as parent, but if you never say no, never punish them for misbehaving, and indulge their every whim, well, that's how monsters are born. Or at least that's how Karens are born, anyway. The piece of advice I give all new parents, because I wish someone had told us, there may come a time when you are exhausted, due to the baby's sleep, feeding schedule, etc., when your baby is crying and won't stop and you will feel like you hate the little crotch goblin and that you've made a mistake. The guilt you feel along with the negative thoughts prove that you care, and that you will feel better once you recuperate. Also, that your wife just went through hell and maybe be feeling these things too, especially if she has postpartum depression. If you frame this time as a sort of military-style parental sleep deprivation training, which it is, it might help you get through it more stoically. Step up and help your wife out. Get used to changing diapers and other shitty chores and be thankful that you don't have a little munchkin latching onto you and literally sucking the energy out of you, because your wife does. Kids are a very rewarding and exhausting experience, and you are about to learn what it means to live your life in service to someone else for the next few months, years. Good luck. Postpartum depression is real, hits hard, and can affect both of you. Be very supportive of your significant other. Hold your baby while the mother sleeps and rests. Be the one that gets up at night to comfort and change the diaper. Learn what your baby likes. Each of my boys has liked different styles of being rocked to sleep. You're going to do fine, but don't be afraid to ask for help. Know the signs of postpartum depression/anxiety/psychosis and PTSD. Have resources ready in case of an emergency. The hormonal changes are really rough and it can be a lot. If she's crying seemingly for no reason, hold her, reassure her and be patient. If she's had a rough or traumatic birth experience, and she's suffering from nightmares etc., it may be PTSD, which may require a doctor to help. It may take time for you to form an attachment with the child. That's okay. It took about 4 months before I stopped hating my life. Just know that it gets better. My wife breastfed our baby so I couldn't help too much with feeding, so I ended up doing a lot of support work. Well, that wasn't directly taking care of baby but needed to get done, like laundry, cooking etc. tasks we shared before. Now I did 100%. It doesn't feel like raising a baby, but my wife said it helped her mental load. I know you probably won't see this comment, but I wanted to throw in something that I didn't see commented. A lot of people said enjoy every moment, and take lots of pictures. This is true, but I wanted to add one more thing that I didn't think about. Take pictures of your wife and the kid. I took 1 million pictures of my son, got a bunch of selfies with him and but I never thought to get pictures of my wife with him. Mother's Day came around and I wanted to get her a nice framed picture of the two of them, and I realized I had precious few of them interacting. Since then I go out of my way to make sure that I get pictures of the two of them together, and us as a family. Also, side note, Work as a team with your wife. If you know she's exhausted, make her get some sleep. If she's got a little more rest and you're beat, ask her if she minds if you take an extended nap somewhere. Get some comfy hearing protection for these naps, and tell her to wake you up if she needs help. A good partnership makes parenting easy, even if the kid just doesn't want to sleep, like mine. Be patient with mom in the first 3-6 months. She will go through a lot of changes again. Postpartum depression is real and can be very difficult for them. Remember, they were carrying a baby that was feeding off of their bodies. This changes hormones, bodily functions and behavior, and has a massive impact to mental health and well-being. If you notice your partner having panic attacks, anxiety attacks, or even just looks down, it's likely postpartum depression. Assure her that everything is going to be okay and that a lot of women go through this. My partner went through this and I suggested she talk to a doctor, therapist, and it helped. She had to take some medication to help balance the hormones and the chemical imbalance caused by having a tiny human inside for a bit, but she recovered and is doing better now. Another thing that can happen is if your partner decides to breastfeed. This will also be hard in the first 2 months because they are constantly feeding the baby. They can struggle with identity crisis, feeling as if they only are providing food and nothing else. Find ways to assure them that they are more than that. They are a mom, a provider, a partner, and a major contributor to the family.